Who are you? I mean, who are you, really? We all think we have a pretty good handle on that, but for more than 100 years, some of the sharpest minds have been drawing maps of our inner world that tell a totally different story. So, let's take a journey. We're going to trace these maps from the psychoanalyst's couch all the way to the circuits of modern AI.
Let's just start with this really powerful, kind of unnerving idea. What if you, the person you think you are, isn't really the one in the driver's seat? What if you're more like a window, a brief opening that consciousness is just looking through for a little while? This one thought, it really sets the stage for everything we're about to get into.
Okay, so our first stop has to be with the original cartographer of the mind, Sigmund Freud. And look, we're not going to talk about him like he's some dusty old historical figure. We're looking at him as the first person to really draw a map of the civil war that's happening inside every single one of us.
Now, Freud's core insight wasn't just that we have a few hidden thoughts. No, it was way bigger than that. His idea was that our entire consciousness is structurally split. We are not one unified person. We are, at our core, a divided house.
And this is a perfect way to picture that inner conflict. Down in the basement, you've got the id, all your primal drives, all your desires and aggressions, and it's just screaming, I want it, and I want it now. But then upstairs, you've got the superego. That's the voice of your parents, of culture, of society saying, absolutely not, you can't have that. And you, your conscious self, the ego, yeah, you're the stressed out negotiator stuck right in the middle, just trying to broker a peace that, let's be honest, never really lasts.
So here's the absolute key takeaway from Freud. That constant tension, that anxiety, that feeling of being pulled in a million different directions, that's not a sign that something is wrong with you. According to Freud, that is the human condition. It's the whole game. You are fundamentally, structurally, not a single unified being.
And what's the cost of admission for living together, for building whole civilizations? Well, Freud had a name for it, neurosis. It's that constant low-level hum of dissatisfaction that comes from never, ever being able to fully let the id off its leash. It's the price we pay for locking all those doors in the house of our mind.
But this is where Freud's map starts to feel a little small, a little claustrophobic. It's all about your personal history, your locked rooms. But what if that basement doesn't just end with a wall? What if it opens up into a vast, shared underground network?
And that question brings us to our next stop. Carl Jung. He took Freud's map of the mind and just zoomed way, way out. He suggested that our personal unconscious is really just a tiny little bay that's connected to this vast collective ocean of human experience.
I mean, this was a truly radical idea. Jung was saying that we are born with a shared psychic inheritance, a kind of psychological DNA. Think of it like a massive, ancient library of human experience that we all have access to, filled with these deep, primordial patterns and symbols.
And the books in that giant library, Jung called them the archetypes. You can think of them as the original software for being human. The hero who goes on a journey, the nurturing mother, the mysterious inner feminine and masculine energies we all have, the anima and animus. These aren't just stories we tell each other, they are the deep patterns that actually shape how we experience reality itself.
So for Jung, the goal of life wasn't just to manage your problems and get by. It was this grand quest he called individuation, a lifelong journey to become your fullest, most complete self. And what's the most important step on that quest? Having the guts to turn around and have a conversation with the parts of yourself you've rejected, your shadow.
Okay, so hold on, because this is where we take a huge leap. We're about to bring these century-old ideas right out of the textbook and into your phone. Because the digital world that we've all built, it's starting to act like a brand new, supercharged collective unconscious. First, let's get really clear on what this shadow thing is. It's all the stuff about yourself you just can't admit. Your greed, your pettiness, your irrational fears, your cruelty. And you don't just get rid of it. Oh no, you project it. You see it everywhere in the people you hate, the political figures you demonize. They become the screen for your own inner horror movie.
And that leads us to a really crucial question for our time. If we are all projecting our disowned parts outward, where's the biggest screen in the world? Where's all that collective darkness actually showing up?
And the answer, which is kind of chilling when you think about it, might be in our technology. When we train artificial intelligence on the internet, on the sum total of our digital thoughts, our arguments, our confessions, our secrets, it doesn't just learn facts, it absorbs our biases, our obsessions,
our feuds. It is literally becoming a mirror to the human soul, and it's reflecting back not just our shiny best intentions, but our collective shadow, too.
What's so fascinating is how this new reality completely reshapes Freud's old model. Think about it. A recommendation algorithm is basically the id on demand. It's your own personal butler for the pleasure principle, giving you exactly what you want right now. There's no waiting, no friction. And the result? Our ego, the part of us that's supposed to navigate reality, delay gratification, make tough choices, is getting weaker. It's being starved of the challenges it needs to stay strong, making us all more impulsive and way less resilient.
So what does all of this actually feel like for you and me, for our own sense of who we are? Well, it leads to a very modern and, frankly, a very exhausting crisis of identity. And this quote just hits the nail on the head. We are constantly being told to be authentic, but the main place we express ourselves, our social media feed, demands a perfect, curated performance. So being real just becomes another role we have to play, another brand we have to manage, all to please the invisible audience of the algorithm. And this creates this crazy-making loop, right? First, the world tells you, just be yourself. Then you have this realization that any self you present is always going to be some kind of performance. So then the demand shifts and it gets louder. Okay, then perform authenticity and do it perfectly. Is it any wonder so many of us feel completely burnt out by the simple act of trying to be ourselves?
So how do we get out of this trap? Well, maybe the answer is to just stop. Stop the frantic search for some fixed, true, authentic self you're supposed to find and then perform. Instead, what if you just accepted that you are multiple things? The goal isn't to be one thing. It's to be aware of all the competing voices inside you, the id, the superego, the shadow, all of it.
And maybe that's the most practical, freeing idea of all. Let go of the impossible ideal of pure authenticity. Just accept that we are all performing all the time to some degree. We're all compromised. The real work isn't about becoming perfectly pure. It's just about becoming a little more conscious of the roles we're playing and maybe forgiving ourselves for the compromises we all have to make just to get by.
Which, in the end, leaves us with this. These maps from Freud and Jung, this crazy new digital mirror of AI, they don't give us a final answer about who we are. They just show us the raw material we're all working with, the conflict, the deep patterns, the darkness. The ultimate question is turned right back to you. What will you create with it?